Welcome, everyone, to the Student Union Society election debate of 2025. My name is Claire Cook. I am the electoral officer, MC, and moderator for today's event. Before we go any further, I'd like to acknowledge that the UFV Student Union Society is located on the ancestral homelands of the Halkomelem-speaking Staldo Nation, and to extend our appreciation for the opportunity to live, work, and learn on this territory. For those of you who may not know, we are the University of the Fraser Valley Student Union Society, and we have a variety of great programs, services, student advocacy, events, opportunities, and volunteering that can be found for on-campus employment. Some of the things you may know us for are the UPass, the Campus Shuttle, Health and Dental, clubs and associations, fairgrounds, the Sub Lounge, and the many events we do like Kickback and more. SAS was officially registered as a BC nonprofit society in 1995, but has been at UFV since the 1980s. We were created by members of the student body to represent student concerns and their needs to the university and to the municipal, provincial, and federal governments. The Student Union Society is run by students and for students through a body of student executives, student representatives, student staff, and permanent staff. SAS is able to offer the variety of programs that it does and advocate for post-secondary education on students' behalf and provide you with the many opportunities that you know to get involved in campus. Before we begin with the debate, we do have some ground rules to cover before we can proceed. Number one is that all UFV Student Union Society policies, bylaws, and rules apply. Failure to adhere will result in a warning and possibly the removal from the debate and the election. As well, any candidates or those in attendance cannot interrupt whomever is speaking at any moment. This is a debate of candidates. It's not an open debate. Therefore, we will not have questions from the audience. We'd like to firmly inform everyone that only respectful behavior will be tolerated. No booing, jeering, negative noises, or sounds. This is an intense process for everyone involved, so let's do our best to support the candidates in a positive environment. Clapping is allowed. So the way it's going to work today is that the candidates will be separated by position into groups. Each executive candidate in a group will be given 2 questions to answer. They have 2 minutes per question to answer. Their opponents are allowed to answer this question as well with a 1-minute response. Please respect when I say when you can speak and can't speak. Candidates will be given a 10-second warning when their time is almost done. They may also once more further respond to their opponent's response, then responses must end there. For our student representative position, please note that they will only receive 1 question. They have 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer the question, and up to 2 of their opponents are allowed to answer this question as well with a 1-minute response, and then those candidates may also further respond to their opponent to have the last word, and then responses must end there. We have candidates today who wish to obtain a seat within our executive team for president, vice president external, vice president students, vice president internal, and student representatives at large. Now that I've spoken about the ground rules and how today is going to look, we are going to begin with our vice president internal candidates, Devyank Hussain and Taj Sharma. Please come up to the stage and sit where your name card is. Thank you. So I would like the candidates to now introduce themselves by name, program major or minor, the position they are running for, and briefly why they wish to run for this position. You may start, Devyank.
Hello everyone, my name is Devyank Gosai. I am a third year business administration student pursuing my major in accounting and a minor in finance. Today, I would like to run for SAS Vice President internal position because I believe that I have a potential to give back to our community. I would also like to acknowledge that we are situated on the land of the Stolo, the people of the river, and I'm grateful to learn, live, and work on this territory as well. So I started my journey at UFP's India campus, also known as Fraser Valley, India, where I was part of essential key projects like the student company program, where I served the dual responsibility of a marketing and a production associate. Along with that, I also served the role as a student ambassador and social media head for two clubs, the Cinemates Club um, as well as the music club. And I think that the roles and responsibilities of the VP internal is all about managing the internal functioning, the back end, the operations. And when I came to UFP Canada in fall 2024, I gained the opportunity to work for the South Asian Studies Institute that is located in the building K at UFP, where I worked as a financial research assistant that has shaped me who I am today. And that role comes with a lot of experience in managing the back end, the budgets, preparing of financial statements that directly aligns with the roles and responsibilities of VP internal. And by all means, I wish to give back to the USP community. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll have our next candidate.
Hello, everyone. I'm Taj Sharma. I'm doing a BBA degree with a major in finance, and I'm running to be your next vice president internal. I came to UFE with one goal in mind, that was to meet new people and learn new things. And that's exactly what this position will give me the chance to do. It's going to give me the chance to become a spokesperson for the unheard. I have a strong background in management, finance, and leadership, which I believe are three pillars that uphold the duties and responsibilities of the vice president internal. I also have a lifelong passion for community service, and this position would allow me to serve the wonderfully diverse community that we have here at UFA. I'm here to learn with you, I'm here to grow with you, and I'll make sure that your voices are heard and that your opinions are addressed. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much to the candidates for introducing themselves. So the first question will go to one candidate, and then once we move through that question, we will move to the next candidate. You will be prompted to respond to each other's responses. However, I'd like to stress that for the first question you'll each receive, it will be the same question. So you'll each have a chance to respond to that same question. So we will begin. This first question is for Devyang. This is an operational and organization-intensive position with significant time spent working with processes, policies, documents, spreadsheets, and other internal duties. It is not so much about experience, but about having a competent appetite for wanting to do these things with attention to detail. How do your experience and skills fit with these responsibilities? Your 2 minutes start now.
That's a great question. Thanks, Claire. So, as I previously mentioned, that I started this journey of leadership since I joined UFP in 2022 at the India campus. Along with that, I started a passion for community building. I have a LinkedIn community of more than 4,000 individuals where we grow each day. I learn from them, they learn from my experiences. When I talk about attention to detail, the past experience of working as a financial research assistant at South Asian Studies Institute has helped me deep dive into the responsibilities of that directly align with that of the vice president internal. I know it would come with a lot of back end functioning, brainstorming, and also preparing budgets, improving amendments, crafting policies that directly associate with the students. I would also like to mention that this position is also the secondary duty is to work on alongside the non-academic issues of the students, which through my candidate statement I wish to achieve. One of the point that I mentioned in my candidate statement is like I envision to create a voting booth at SAS. That would basically mean that I would want to give you guys, the students at UFP, a direct say in SAS operations, so that the direction is coming from the students and not just the SAS making improvements, but what we want from the students to directly be, said aloud. And then I also want to end with the point that attention to detail comes with practice, and I have had that experience at my last job. Along with that, I have also worked previously
10
at
second warning.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Devyang. Taj, do you have anything to add to that? Yes or no?
No, I do not.
Thank you. So the next question will go to Taj. This is an operational and organization intensive position with significant time spent working with processes, policies, documents, spreadsheets, and other internal duties. It is not so much about experience, but having a competent appetite for wanting to do these things with attention to detail. How do your experience and skills fit with these responsibilities? Your 2 minutes start now.
Thank you for the wonderful question, Claire. So, as I stated earlier, I have a strong background in management, leadership, and finance, which I believe are very important pillars in upholding the duties and responsibilities of this position. I've been working with UFV for almost 2 years now. I've been working on different projects, which range from student startups to working in NGOs in rural areas where we uplift uneducated women, making sure that we give them the chance to educate themselves, come together, form self-help groups, and giving them the power and chances to make a difference in their lives. And I've always been very passionate about the people I work with, about the people that I can impact in any way. And in my professional journey, wherever I have the chance to, I always make sure that I make a positive impact. I've worked in many positions ranging from diverse experiences in finance, leadership, sales, retail, doing part-time jobs like many students here at UFE, making sure that I learn the most that I can from wherever I work in. And for this position, I believe that you cannot just walk in with a handful of skills and be the perfect guy for the position. I believe that this is something that you learn while you do it. You have to adapt, you have to learn, you have to make sure that you're paying attention to detail, and that's what I bring to the table. I don't bring a plate full of things to the table. I bring a clean slate, and I want your help to make me make sure that I can help you in the best way that I can. This position is not something that the skills for this position is not something that you're born with. It's not something that you come with. It's something that you learn. And I'm here to learn. I'm open to learning. I'm open to adapting, and I'm open to listening to you to make sure that I serve you in the best way that's approachable to you, comforting to you, and possible for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Devyank, do you have anything you would like to respond with to that?
Yes, I would.
Okay. In order to do that, your 1 minute begins now.
I believe that this position is also about having a skill set that you should come with from experience. The past experience shape your future journey as well. And learning by doing is a great way to learn things, but it should also be influenced by what you bring to the table. Thank you.
Can I
Thank you.
comment on
Yes, Taj, you may have up to 1 minute to respond. Your 1 minute starts now.
that? As I stated earlier, I've been working with UFE for the past 2 years. Currently, I work as the career peer at UFP, where I help students out with their resumes, cover letters, and interviewing skills, where I help and guide them land their dream jobs. Other than that, I've also been associated with UFE in many student startups. I've started out as a sales associate in one of those startups, and I worked my way up to being the member of the board of directors of the next student startup. That's something that I believe shows that I'm willing to learn and I'm willing to adapt. Because working your way up from the bottom to the top, that's something that requires a vast amount of knowledge, experience, and a very keen interest of learning, which I again believe is a very important role in this position. Thank you.
And add something.
Unfortunately, once the initial question person responds, that'll be the limit for the questions, but you'll have more time to speak in the following question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So the next question goes to Devyank. In your candidate statement, you mention financial data consolidation and a club accelerator program relating to funding requests and approvals. How do you envisage implementing these within the scope of your role as Vice President Internal? Your 2 minutes start now.
Thank you. So, as I mentioned in my candidate statement, if I become yours as Vice President Internal, I want to make sure that clubs and associations are not just for the sake of having at UFV, but they should be proudly associated with everyone. When I was campaigning during this period, I went to the Chilliwack campus, talked with students, and what I realized was that most of them are not aware about the services UFE offers. The clubs and associations that we have on the Abbotsford campus, they are not aware that these clubs even are running actively on the Abbotsford campus. I want to make sure if I get elected, I want to bridge that gap and provide the services that UFE offers on all the campuses throughout. Not just one campus should be primary and the other one should not function in exactly the same way as we do here. So I want to make sure that we bridge that gap. Along with that, the Club Accelerator program is all about improving the accommodations for funding requests. Currently, it is 2 weeks, but if I get elected, I want to reduce that delay. And in my candidate statement, the second point is about financial consolidation. I was going through SAS website, and I came through was that the financial statements from 2009 onwards are publicly viewable, accessible to the students and the public. But the previous data, we don't have any history about that. So I want to dig deep dive into that issue as well. Along with that, I want to create a platform where all the data are consolidated, and then I want to improve the basically by doing so it would help me in studying the trend analysis. It's a concept in finance and accounts where we forecast
Warning.
data on the basis of previous data. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Taj, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
I did, Claire.
Okay, you may start that response. You have 1 minute starting now.
Thank you, Claire. To add to what Divyang said, I think that clubs are a very important part of community here at UFE, but they should not be given all the attention. I believe that clubs can be a very important part of your student life, but that's not the only thing that matters. There's a lot of other things that should be given the attention that they deserve. Most importantly, the events that have been happening here at UFE recently, I believe that I can work towards making those events more accessible and more accompanying to more students at UFE, because we're a wonderfully diverse community of more than 10,000 students. And most of the events that we have here at UFE, they aren't catered to handle more than 200 or 300 people at max. So I want that should also be focused on by the Vice President internal. And I also went to the Chilliwack campus accompanying the Vank. And clubs are a very important part of their lives as well. But they also want more food options, more eating options, and gym access. That's something that I want to work towards.
Thank you. Devyank, did you wish to have the last word to that?
Yes,
All right, your response may start now.
I believe that events are also a great way to boost our community, but as a vice president internal, it would be my role and my responsibility under primary function to increase the budgets that are associated with the clubs and associations we have at UFP. When I was campaigning at the Abbotsford campus, I asked questions about what change would students would like to have at the UFP campus, and most of them were like, we don't have a community, a sense of belonging. So I want to increase that by giving them a chance to increase, more clubs and have a say in what matters the most. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now move on to our last question for this position. So this question will go to Taj. In your candidate statement, you mentioned one of your goals is to strengthen financial oversight. Can you elaborate on how you plan to do this? Your 2 minutes start now.
Right. Thank you for the wonderful question, Claire. So, being a student here at UFE and having talked to many students at UFE, I learned that a lot of students, we don't realize exactly what SAS can do for us. And there's a lot. And I believe that I can get this idea out to students. I can get the information out to students in a way that is comprehensible to them, that is comfortable to them, that they know what all is available to them. Being a finance major and having background working in financial roles has given me an idea of what's the perfect way to get your idea across to a lot of people and make it understandable. Financial reports, numbers, all of those can be very overwhelming for people. And to be very honest, that can actually be boring to some people. And I believe that numbers do not in any way represent what SAS is. It's what the role of the vice president internal is. And I want to get ideas out. I want to get knowledge out other than numbers. I will focus on numbers, of course, but this role doesn't specifically always needs to focus on numbers. It needs to focus on people. It needs to focus on stories that it's creating with those people. So making financial oversight more comfortable, more easy, that's something that I want to work towards, because numbers won't always approach people, you will. And I want to work towards more initiatives where I can get in touch with you guys, where you guys can get in touch with me and work together with me to make sure that everything is more comforting to you. Because in the end, as Vice President Internal, I want to make your student experience at UFP more easy, more accessible, and more enjoyable. Thank you.
Thank you. Devyank, do you have anything you would like to add to that?
Yes, I would.
Your 1 minute response may start now.
I believe that vice president internal position is not that of vice president students. It's about people, it's about community, but it's essentially important to focus on the internal functioning of a company. And I believe numbers, if are displayed correctly in a good way, the representation, presentation, and I know currently the reports are not that uh, good, like the representation is not good, but I want to make sure if I get elected, I would want those numbers to make sense to the students, and I want them to understand these numbers as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Taj, did you wish to have the last word to that?
I did.
All right. Your 1 minute response may start now.
Okay, thank you, Claire. As I stated earlier, I will be focusing on numbers. Numbers need to be correct, but in no way did I ever state that numbers is not to be focused on. Numbers are very important when it comes to a financial role. And I have a major in finance. So numbers, they do make sense to me. When I go through spreadsheets, balance sheets, financial statements, I know what I'm reading. I understand what I'm reading, but I can say, I can unfortunately cannot say the same for everyone here at UFP. Not everyone knows how to read financial statements. Not everyone knows how to understand numbers. And it's my duty and it's my responsibility as a representative of the students to make sure that what we do is understandable for you. And that's something that I want to work towards, making life more comfortable for you here at UFP. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, both of you. That is all for our Vice President internal candidates today. Everyone wanted to give them a round of applause. So next we will transition our Vice President internal candidates. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thank you to our Vice President student candidates for being our next candidates up here. We have Soumya Gilani and Eamon Kaur. I would like them each to introduce themselves once again by name, program major and minor, and briefly why they wish to run for the Vice President students role. Soumya, will have you start.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Soumya Gilani, and I am currently a third-year computer information systems student. I'm running for the role of Vice President Students. Why I'm running for this role? Because I am passionate about student engagement, student inclusivity, and bringing all the communities at UFP together. Having worked across global campuses of UFP, I know exactly what our students need. Currently, I'm working with UFP Cascades, UFP International, and the South Asian Studies Institute, and working with students from so many diverse communities. I know the different needs of the students, and I feel that I'm very passionate about bringing all those communities together, be it through events, be it through affordable adventure trips, making the campus more accessible for everyone, more and more inclusive events, because I don't want any community to feel unseen or unheard at UFP, which some of them are feeling based on my campaigning experience and communication with the students at UFP. That's what I aim to do through this role, and that's what I am passionate about. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Eamon go next.
So, before I introduce myself, I would like to take a moment that we're gathered on the traditional unceded territory of the Stalo people, and we must honor the history that this land carries and carry that forward as our responsibility together as we bring new changes for all students. So, my name is Eamon, and I'm a second year Bachelor's of Business Administration student. I have a major in accounting, and I'm running for the Vice President of Students position because I feel that there is a lot more that we can do as a society of the student union to bring positive changes for all students. There's much more we can do. There's events, there's clubs and associations, there's so much more, but I feel like specifically the clubs and associations are feeling neglected as per my campaigning experience. The clubs are inactive at the moment, and I want to bring changes to those events, to those clubs, and also make changes to the events by making them longer. Like as per the kickback, I want to make them to have longer hours and make them more inclusive of all the students that go to UFE here. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you both very much for the introductions. So before we start into the questions, I'll just remind both of you as well that the first question you each get will be the same question. You will be prompted that you can respond to each other, but you will each have the opportunity to answer this same question. So we will begin with Soumya. What experience do you have with community building and student engagement that would make you a strong candidate for this role? Your 2 minutes start now.
Thank you, Claire. Over the past 2 years, I have had so many experiences with student engagement, which will help me excel in this role. The major ones being I have been the president of the Serving Humanity Club back at the UFE India campus, where I led a team of 100 plus students, organized 20 plus successful events, and raised over Canadian dollars, 740 Canadian dollars. I had a chance to interact with so many students, engage with them, understand how a team operates, understand what my team needs to function. And that is one of the experiences that helped me understand how to deal with students, how to understand their problems. Additionally, currently as I mentioned, I'm working with UFE Cascades, UFE International, and the South Asian Studies Institute. That helped me interact with students from different backgrounds like athletes, international students, domestic and exchange students, and the South Asian students. All of these students have had so many diverse experiences at UFE that we cannot even imagine. A lot of these students have not been feeling seen or heard at UFE, and I had the chance to interact with them and understand the different kinds of issues these students have. I also have had the chance to work in various startups where I got a chance to lead a team of about 35 students. And even there, I led the human resources department, which helped me understand how to build a community, how to interact with the community, how to understand what our community exactly needs. This experience,
Second warning.
this experience requires all of those skills, and I feel all of those skills are transferable to this role.
Thank you. Eamon, did you wish to respond to that?
No.
Thank you. So the next question, the same question, goes to Eamon. What experience do you have with community building and student engagement that would make you a strong candidate for this role? Your 2 minutes start now.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Well, I have a very diverse background. I was born in India. I moved to Kenya, Africa when I was 5 years old, and then I moved to Canada at the age of 12. So I've lived around the world and I've seen a lot of different people. I've met a lot of different people, and it makes it very easy for me to connect with people as I have a very extroverted personality. And through that extroverted personality, I've gained experience. I've had one-on-one conversations with my peers. Even if I don't know them, it'll be just like I see someone pass by, I see them concerned about something, I will ask them, hey, like, what's up? And those are the experiences that I think I can bring to this role, as I've spoken to students, like what do they think that is missing at university, whether it could be breakfast clubs, it could be anything that's missing, right? And I feel like my past experiences are I have a lot of past experiences by working with leadership communities in my middle and high school years, where I started events and without minimal to zero funding, and also with zero to zero guidance, because as a student in high school, you didn't really have the funding or the guidance to make events come to action. So I feel like those experiences will help me like build a better environment at UFE here. Thank you.
Thank you. Soumya, did you have anything you wish to respond with?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you both for the first two questions. We will now move on to Soumya again for your second question. In your candidate statement, you mentioned you will enhance student engagement. What are some of the specific plans you have to enhance engagement and how will you measure success? Your 2 minutes start now.
So, through student engagement, I don't just mean bringing students together for some basic events. I mean bringing students from various communities together. Currently, we do have a lot of events on campus. I'm not going to deny that, but they are not accessible for all. My specific goals would include organizing affordable semester trips for every semester, which would bring students from different communities together already. We organize events based on various festivals, but not every community would adhere to those festivals. But events is something that would bring everybody together at one spot at one time. Other than that, I'm also planning to organize events at a larger scale so more and more students can come and attend the events. We could also organize it outside. We could invite all the campuses of UFP, including Chilliwack and Mission, to ensure that they feel included. They are also able to enjoy as much. Apart from that, as you asked, how I will measure its success. Well, every event should be followed up by a poll, by a voting poll, where students can freely reach out to the SAS leaders and can directly tell them what changes do they think we should have had as the SAS leaders in those events, so the next events can be better. At least one affordable trip every semester would definitely count as a successful measuring point for me. And apart from that, I'm also planning to organize as many events as possible on campus. I'm planning to organize get more food options on campus because there are so many
10
students
seconds.
who have evening classes and they are left with no other food options. So all of these things will indirectly uh, interact towards student engagement. Thank you.
Thank you. Eamon, did you have anything you wish to respond with, please?
Yes.
All right, your
So-
1 minute may start now.
So when we talk about affordable trips, I've taken the tally of how much money students pay every semester. It's over $150, along with the health and dental plan, which pushes us up to $230 every semester. So I want to make sure that students do not have to pay more out of their pocket, as we have a big international community, and we do have domestic students as well that do not live off their parents, that have to work on their own to afford that living and come to university and study. So I think instead of making affordable trips and making those students pay more to have those trips, I think we should make the events that take place here and improve the university life here on campus. And instead of making students pay more, we should work with the funding that we already have and make those events happen with the funding that we already have. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Soumya, did you have anything you wish to respond with for that?
Yes, I do.
All right, your 1 minute response may start now.
I never said that I will not be focusing on events on campus or the clubs and associations on campus. They are the core building of UFE and the students at UFE. Those can never go out of focus no matter what we do. This is an addition that I'm bringing to the table. The affordable trips is an addition. So, yes, I understand there are many students who will not be financially equipped to go on every single trip. But recently, UFE International organized a trip and they took people to Whistler for $40. Baker took their students for $20. If they can do it, so can we. And I feel that $40 or $20 is something that we all can afford, at least in one semester. Everybody is working, and even if they're not, I will obviously have a lot of more events on campus as well for the students who cannot afford to go on.
10-second warning.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the final question will now go to Eamon. In your candidate statement, you mentioned a goal of yours is to focus on student mental health and well-being. What are some specific plans you have to accomplish this, and how will you measure success? Your 2 minutes start now.
Well, thank you for the question. And before I begin answering my question, I knew this is the question that I will get. And this is the question that I actually prepared for. So I'm great that I have this question. And I plan to bring mental health awareness to the campus by hosting mental health awareness events. I do know that we already have those in place. However, I want to bring in workshops, and I think we already have therapy dogs as well. I want to have more of that and create a safe space for students to come and just enjoy themselves, take a load off their mind, and be at peace. I want to create these spaces. I do know that we have a room upstairs where it's our prayer room that we so call it, but I want to create such spaces where if a student is feeling like life is getting too much, or like they just need a break from everything, they should know that the student union is here, that I'm also here to help them get through that. Thank you.
Thank you. Samya, do you have anything you wish to add to that?
Yes, I do.
All right, your 1-minute response starts now.
I also agree that mental health support resources should definitely be provided to all the students, and it can be done in many ways. It can be done through providing peer mental health support groups. It can be provided through semester getaways to various places. It can be provided through small events on campus, because sometimes students don't always want to share what is going on. Sometimes they just want to get away. Sometimes they just want to chill off, to relax. So, yes, mental health resources are important, and they are also something that I will be providing to the students at UF. Thank you.
Thank you. Eamon, did you wish to respond to that?
Yes.
All right, your 1-minute response may start now.
Well, not all students want to interact with people and go to events when they're having a mental breakdown. And I want to improve on that, because I have a background, I work with neurodivergent children, and it's really hard for such children, and we're still children, I believe so. And that we should help those people isolate themselves at certain points, because come on, like if I'm bawling my eyes out, I do not want anyone to see me. I do not want anyone to interact with me. So I want to create a safe space where students can just simply just chill and relax. And when they feel good, when they feel better, they can come out and be like, hey, like, can I please talk to somebody? And I want to provide counseling services to those students, because I do know that we have those at UFE, and make them more accessible and promote them more, so that they can take a load off their minds and relax and be at peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much to both of our vice president student candidates for all of their answers. You may now go have a seat back in the audience, and we will next have one of our 2 vice president external candidates come up to the stage. Just look for where your name card is.
Thank you, everyone.
So we now welcome Gurpreet Singh, one of our 2 vice president external candidates, to the stage. Liam Piper is the other vice president external candidate and is unfortunately unable to be here today due to being in Ottawa for academic reasons. Please check out Liam's candidate statement online at ufvsas.ca/elections. I would now like Gurpreet Singh to introduce himself by name, program major and minor, and briefly why he wishes to run for vice president external.
Thank you very much, Claire. My name is Gurpreet Singh. Hello, everybody. And I'm third-year Bachelor's of Computer Information Systems student. The reason I am running for Vice President external role is because I feel this role has the most potential of growth. Advocating for students in municipality councils, advocating for federal levels and national levels is something that I'm looking out for. And if I elected as Vice President external, my main initiatives would include the increasing food opportunities on campus. Extending the food operations hours would be my topmost priority. Not just within the campus, my initiatives would also include something that would involve coordination between inter-campuses relationships. I know that UFE has been a proactive member of CASA, which is Canadian Alliance of Student Associations. And I would be keeping that on my priority list, and encouraging the UFE's representation at CASA would be something that is really effective and would directly impact the student life here at UFE.
Thank you for the introduction. So Gurpreet, we will start with your first question. The Vice President external position is a public-facing role involved in student advocacy within UFE, as well as municipal, provincial, and federal governments and external organizations. This role requires a high degree of professionalism, written and oral communication skills, and strong critical thinking and problem solving. What experiences and skills do you have that would make you a strong candidate for this position? Your 2 minutes start now.
To list out the main key features that I personally come up with, me being a student like the rest of us, have a perspective coming from a student. My current role involves being a student technician in the IT department here at UFE. I have been in UFE campus for about 2.5 years. What I feel in my initial semesters, I didn't have someone to look up to and feel like, oh, this is someone that I could approach within SAS, even if I had any ideas within my mind that could enhance the functionalities of SAS. My responsibilities that I currently own and have been doing since in my life at UFE have made me believe that I can manage UFE systems and coordinate within departments. My experience that I bring forward with my table would be leadership, management, and interaction within UFE departments, UFE campuses. My sole initiative would be directed towards student engagement and advocacy for students within campuses.
Thank you very much for that response. We'll now have your second question. In your candidate statement, you say one of your goals is to actively collaborate with advocacy groups and academic leaders to improve the student experience. Which aspects need improving, and what steps will you take to solve those problems? Your 2 minutes start now.
Speaking of inter-campuses relationship, I feel like UFE has done a pretty good job being a proactive member of CASA. From my knowledge, if I'm correct, UFE was a member of ABCS, which was Alliance of BC Students, previously which was discontinued in 2022. But since that it has been a member of CASA, it has advocated for many resources, some of which do include the most that is quietly aware is the Route 66, Fraser Valley. From my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, this was something that was interacted within campuses and with the federal governments from 2019. But from my perspective as a student, it recently popped up within the last previous candidate election campaignings. Most students do believe that this is something that has not yet been done and something that cannot be done or isn't being pushed forward to, but they do not see the background of it. SAS has done a pretty good job giving it out that this is our requirements, and the progress that has been made has been publicly available on the student website, although most of the students are not aware of it. Some of which that I would conclude would be expanding of storage in the Chilliwack region, which has been taken a step due to rising demands of population within the Fraser Valley region. My advocacy campaigns would include and directly relate to the advocacy campaignings that have been going on so far. But coming along in the journey of Vice President External, I would come up with advocacy campaigns which would impact the student voices and student life in campus, which would take the student voice upwards towards the municipal, provincial, and federal government agencies. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for your responses to those two questions. So we'd like to thank Gurpreet for his responses and mention that the other candidate is Liam Piper, and his candidate statement can be viewed online at the elections website. Thank you very much, Gurpreet.
Thank you very much for it.
We now welcome our one presidential candidate for this election, Bilal Fazal Fahim. I would like him to introduce himself with his name, program major or minor, and the position he is running for, and briefly why he wishes to run for this position.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bilal Faisal Fahim, and I'm a fourth-year business administration student here at UFE. I have my two minors over here, professional sales and organization studies, and I'm running for the president position. And why I'm running for the president position is I've been a part of SAS for the past 2 years. I started as the assistant vice president here at SAS, and now currently I'm the vice president students here at SAS. And I feel SAS as an organization has the capability and the resources to make some change and better the campus community here at UFE. And that is why I feel that I have achieved a lot of things during my term as vice president students here at SAS, but there are some more things that are needed to be done. And we're never going to run out of things that we need to do to make this campus community be better, because we have so many students, so many different things that are happening every day that we need to work upon. But I feel that I have that experience, and I have that uh, drive in me to make some change for the students, but also making sure that the change is going in the correct direction. And I wouldn't take too long here. I'll answer the rest of the questions.
Absolutely. So we will begin with the questions. Just so everyone is aware, Bilal will be answering 4 questions, given he is the only candidate running for his position. So the first question to Bilal will be, the president is the head of the executive committee and is ultimately responsible for carrying out strategic goals, orders, and resolutions of the board. This is a public-facing position with the responsibility of being the sole spokesperson of SAS. What leadership and teamwork experience do you have, and what skills would make you a strong candidate for this role? Your 2 minutes start now.
Thank you, Claire. So I'll talk about my experience before SAS. I've been involved with UFE since my first semester over here. I was, as the other candidates, I was a part of the UFE's India campus, the Fraser Valley India campus. I've been part of a lot of projects over there, and I started my journey from the very bottom. I wasn't a leader, or I wasn't the head of a department as soon as I started. I made my way up there, and the reason why I think I would be a great candidate and I would be able to lead the executive team or the SAS team, or like be the sole spokesperson for UFE SAS, is because I know how to observe the room, and I know how to read the room, and what people would expect us to do, and what is something that we should do. I have been part of SAS for the past 2 years, as I mentioned, and I've seen 2 presidents during their term and know how they used to function, where they could have done something in a different way, where they did something which I would never have thought. So, not only having my own experience, but also having the experience of 2 past presidents, I think that is something that I build off on. And I come with those experiences to tackle different situations, because being president, you face so many different situations each and every day. You cannot expect anything, and no day is the same day. So you have to be ready for those challenges, and I think I am pretty well equipped after my experiences here at UFE and outside UFE to make sure that I make the right decisions and be a good leader for SAS. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your next question. In your candidate statement, you discuss hosting consultations on the 2026 SAS strategic plan. What would these consultations look like? How would you ensure representation of UFE's diverse groups? And how would you measure success? Your 2 minutes start now.
Thank you, Claire. So, just to give some background, SAS has a strategic plan. And this coming year, where if I become the president, we would be making our next strategic plan. So, how are we going to get the student voice over there? Because it could be as easy as all the executives sitting in one room and making the strategic plan and just publishing it out there, like on our SAS website. But how do students know that their voice has been heard? How do we know that where students want to see UFE in the next couple of years? So that is why I mentioned that in my candidate statement. And I strongly believe that some consultation sessions with the UFE students, not just on Abbotsford campus, but the Mission and the Chilliwack campus as well, hearing their voices and where they want their campuses to go ahead. Not saying that we would blindly just take everything from what the students say, but the students at the Mission campus know the Mission campus better than anybody over here. The students at the Chilliwack campus know the Chilliwack campus better than anybody over here. And the students at Abbotsford campus knows this campus way better than what I do, because I don't have that perspective over there. I'm looking at it how we can make, like, as my experience as vice president students, I'm looking how to make this campus more engaging. But they know what are the missing factors in the work that I do here at SAS. So filling those gaps, I think the experience from the students and how they would like this campus to be shaped in the next couple of years, that is the most important part, and that is why I propose the idea of having some consultation sessions here at UFP, where we would discuss where we can head in the next couple of years? What needs to be changed? What have been our direction in the past couple of years? What have we done? And how many of our strategic plan goals have we like check marked? And what can be the direction for the upcoming years here at SAS?
Thank you very much. Your third question is, in your candidate statement, one of your visions is for more food options. You intend to advocate for affordable, diverse choices to address food insecurity. What would this look like to you, and how would you measure success? Your 2 minutes start now.
Thank you. Everybody wants food on campus. If I put a table outside and if I start marking that how many students want free food on campus or like more food options on campus, I can assure you in 1 hour I'll get more than 100 students during the reading break that we need more food. So how do we get that problem resolved? So during my time at SAS, we started a program called Early Eats. That is a free breakfast option for the UFE students every other Tuesday. How has that been successful? We've been getting a lot of students who get free breakfast. The whole point behind that whole program was that no student should start off their day without a breakfast. We can't provide breakfast for the whole week and like all the 5 days of the week. But at the same time, we can start off with something. And that is something that I've done and I've supported during my term here at SAS. And that is something that I want to build upon. We know that UFE is constructing a new dining space here at UFE. But how is that dining space going to be used? What all food options are going to be there? Are the food options going to be inclusive about all the different communities that we have over here at UFE? Are we going to get gluten-free options? Are we going to get halal options? Are we getting different food options that the whole diverse community here at UFE would need? That is something that I would want to work upon. UFE knows that we need more food options. That's why we are getting a new dining space. But how will we lead that thing? What direction would we have to go on? That is something that I am here to support. And that is something that I bring with my experience during my 2 terms here at UFE and talking to a huge number of students and knowing that what exactly they want, because everybody wants food, but how? That's the question that I want to tackle.
Thank you. Your final question. In your candidate statement, you mentioned wanting to push for adding the FVX Route 66 FVX Route 66 bus to the UPass program. How do you plan to do this? Your 2 minutes start now.
Again, I'll start with the same line. Who doesn't want 66 in the UPass? Everybody. I've been traveling. I used to travel with the FVX Route 66 I traveled 8 months straight, 7 days a week. I know how hard it is and how big of a mental and also financial strain it is on students. I used to pay $100 a month just to use that bus, apart from the UPass that is there on campus. And it's been a long fight. I'll be honest. I've been a part of SAS for 2 years, and I've seen each and every exec team pushing forward to get Route 66, and it's not an easy task. You need somebody who has lived out that experience, who knows what the struggles are, and what would happen if that happens. So my goal is to just keep the fight going on. It's not something that I can just do on my first day at the office, but all I'm looking over here is to get support from the students that yes, that is a change that we need, and I have that support. So just pushing that change, talking to the right people at the right time, and not asking for everything at once. You need to understand that there are some steps to get anything, and a thing as big as the Route 66, a UPass, you need some time to do that. And I think now is pretty high time, and we need to push us to get that Route 66. And you need somebody who's determined to get that change. You need somebody who wants that change so badly for the students. And I am the person who can do that. I can assure you, I don't have anybody sitting next to me, but still I can assure you that I can make that change. I can push and make that fight continue to get Route 66 onto the UPass for SAS.
Thank you. So that concludes our questions for our presidential candidates. Thank you for answering those today. All right, everyone, welcome back. We now have 4 of our 8 student representative at-large candidates joining us. They are Guraman Dawan, Tanvir Handal, Gagan Man, and Akshita Rabhadia. The student representative at large candidates that were unable to make it today are Balkaran Singh Gill, Michaela Jacob, Prabcharan Singh Mahal, and Josefa Milwala. Please check out their candidate statements at ufesus.ca/elections. I would now like to have all the student representative at large candidates introduce themselves with their name, program major, minor, and briefly why you wish to be a student representative. We'll start with Guraman.
Hey guys, my name is Gurman Dillon. I'm first year doing my Bachelor of Science, and like everyone else on the stage, I'm running for the position of student representative at large. And as for why I'm running, of course, there's my platform on the candidate statement, which I'll probably be talking about later this debate regarding what I plan to do with tools at SUS's disposal. But even aside from that, what I've noticed with speaking with all the first years on campus is that a lot of them are a little hesitant to get involved in the university. A lot of them are straight out of high school and they're still trying to find their footing in the university. And I think that with the student body electing the first year to become the student representative at large, it'll galvanize the next generation of students to get more involved and to show them that, even if you are first year, even if you are new to the university, you can still get involved and play a role in making the university a better place. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll now move on to Tanvir.
Hi everyone, my name is Tanvir and I'm a third year student in the Bachelor's of Arts program. I'm majoring in political science. Today I'm here to run for the position of student representative at large. And the reason why I'm running for this position is because I'm hoping to continue fostering a vibrant school community that champions inclusivity and diverse perspectives. And as my second term, I just hope to continue making change on the board. And I believe with kind of the experience I have being on the board, I am a great candidate for this position.
Thank you. We will now have Gagan introduce themselves.
Thank you, Claire. Hi, everyone. My name is Gagan. I use she, her pronouns, and I am studying as a third year student and with a major in science, pre-medicine, and a minor in political science. As both a science and arts student, I have an interesting perspective because what I've really noticed is that we have an amazing community here at UFE. I don't need to speak too much on it because this is a lived experience we have had. Whether you're a first year or a third year like myself, or a fourth year like our hopeful president, I think it's important that we understand that because of this duality of being a science and arts student, I've understood that we have something that is very interesting at UFE. We have pockets of community. So as a commuter student from Chilliwack on the beautiful and protected territories of the Stalo Nation, I think it's interesting to see that we have an amazing UFE campus here in Abbotsford. We have lots of events. And one of the newest things that we are doing and taking part of our past presidents and our executive community's legacy is creating more campus activity at Chilliwack and our beautiful Hope and Mission campuses as well. Things like Backyard Bash and being a pre-med student, it's interesting to see how I have labs that sometimes run from 8:30 a.m. lectures, 3-hour lectures, and labs that end at 10 p.m. So I don't have many events I can attend because they run so late. So one of our biggest things is protecting our clubs and associations and enhancing their experience and the role that they can do. There's clinics like suture clinics where they bring family doctors in to teach and present at like from 5 p.m., which is a great time. So extending those clubs and associations, enhancing our student experience is at the forefront of my position here at SUS. Thank you, Claire.
Thank you. We will now have Akshita introduce themselves.
Hello, everyone. I'm Akshita Rapalia, and I'm a fourth-year CIS student, and I'm running for this position of student representative at large because I believe in bridging the gap between students and SUS, and I also believe that the students' voices need to be heard, they need to be valued, they need to be empowered in this community. And I believe in building a community where inclusivity and supportive environment is created for the students. Thank you.
Thank you very much for all introducing yourselves. Our first question will go to Gurman. In your candidate statement, you mention affordability for students and strengthening clubs and associations. What does this look like to you? Your 1 minute and 30 seconds starts now.
Thank you, Claire, for the question. And so when I look at what the student union is spending its money on, I think we're already doing quite a good job in making sure that what we spend our money on is going towards the places that we see in our everyday lives. We have funding for clubs, food bank, we have the UPass, and I think that all of these things we see every day. And I think that that is money well spent. What I don't want to see is when we're creating new initiatives to make us a better place, that's negatively it has negative implications on our tuition costs. I know, as others have mentioned earlier on in this debate, money for some people is tight, and I know especially with UFE, a lot of us chose UFE for its relatively smaller tuition compared to other universities, and so that doesn't mean that we have to cut services, because a lot of us do rely on these services, but it means that we have to make sure that when we're looking at these services, we're continually checking in with the student body. We're making sure through stuff like polls that these services are positively received by the students and that the money is being well spent. And if I'm elected as student representatives, I will be continually checking in with the student body to make sure that happens.
Thank you. Now, if they wish, 2 of the other candidates may respond to this question. Is there anyone who would like to respond to this? No? Okay. We will move on to our next candidate. So the next question is for Tanvir. In your candidate statement, you mentioned fostering a vibrant campus community. What does fostering a vibrant campus community look like to you? Your 1 minute and 30 seconds starts now.
So, in terms of fostering a vibrant school community, I think the first step is to get on campus and communicate with students. So, this means getting out and asking students what they would like to see more of and bringing that to the table when we do have our meetings so that the executives are aware of what students want. And I just believe, like, as I have experience working with a variety of different departments, different associations, and different parts of the university services that are provided, I'm able to canvas quite a large student body. And so I can help bring those opinions to the table so that we can foster that vibrant school community. So I just believe that communicating and being aware of those problems is a first step. And then along with other student representatives and the executive, figuring out plans and ways we can kind of bring those things to life. And that's just the second part of this position, is to just support those executive positions, those long-term positions. And I believe as student representative at large, that's very important to do because we are limited in the capacity that we are able to contribute to the board.
Thank you for your response. Do any other 2 candidates for this position wish to respond? No? Okay, we will move on to our next candidate. So this next question is for Gagan. In your candidate statement, you reference parking as an issue. Parking is largely controlled by the university administration rather than SUS, but given this, what specific steps do you believe SUS can realistically take to advocate for improvements in parking? Your 1 minute and 30 seconds starts now.
That's a brilliant question. Thank you, Claire. And I know it's a question that a lot of students have asked and have been wanting to see. I personally am a commuter student. I rely heavily on that shuttle bus, and I think it's an amazing initiative that UFE has and our SUS team has accomplished. And I think the way we had done that was we got the ball rolling. We saw what students need, we heard their voices, and we took action. And that is my goal here as your student rep. Parking is a very big issue. There's lots going on. There's a lot of layers to accomplish that. But with things like the 66 bus pass, we have to get the ball rolling and we have to keep that fight active. We used to have a shuttle bus to Mission as well, so we can bring that back as well. And I think with the parking issue, we have almost 20,000 students, yet 2,000 parking spots, right? And with the new building that we've created for housing, that's a great initiative. We need affordable housing. Students need homes, but that also took a very big chunk of our parking space. Now, with the legacy of our past SUS teams, I've heard their voices and I've kept in contact with them as well to work on these issues, take their feedback, and hear what they have been accomplishing. Because one of the biggest issues also is transparency. SUS does a great job, and we need to bring that in front of the students. So working on parking, talking to the community, as well as on bigger levels, and using the budget that UFE has, spending it for the students as well.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else wish to respond to that question? No? Okay, we will move on to our last candidate. So this question goes to Akshita. Your candidate statement, in it, you mentioned transparency as a key theme in your platform. In what ways do you think SUS can improve transparency with students? Your 1 minute and 30 seconds starts now.
I believe that transparency is important in our community. Transparency can be made maybe via surveys, feedback forms that can be passed out to students, and they can talk about their issues and convey their message to us. Then I would say we can provide updates on the events, on the decisions that we make during the meetings, or the changes that SUS is going to bring about on our campus. And also, transparency can be in terms of monitoring the finances and understanding where our budget is allocated to what parts of our community. And I believe that this would create an inclusive society, and that the students will know and be aware of what's happening at SUS. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Did any of the other candidates have anything they would like to say? Okay, you all have 1 minute starting now.
Thanks, Claire. Thank you for that amazing response. I think transparency also plays a hand with approachability. We elect our SUS team for a reason, and they speak on our behalf. But what's important is keeping that connection ongoing. We've had amazing events that you might have seen posters of our SUS executive team sitting down in our big atrium, encouraging students to come up to them, share a cup of tea, and talk about what the issues are, because this is an ongoing process. I know our campaign period is like a week or two, but this is a term for a year. That is a year of continuing conversations. I've been here for 3 whole years, and I'm hoping to be here for another year or two with an honors degree. So it's important to the conversations you have when you're talking to your lab partner of, hey, this lab is long, but you know what's longer? That shuttle bus home when I miss it. That's important. So keeping in touch with the student community is also a very big thing our SUS team has done and will continue to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Akshita, did you wish to respond any further to that?
Yes, I do.
All right. 1 minute, please. Now.
Yeah, of course. So transparency, communication also plays an important role. Communicating with the students and making them sure if they feeling valued, and also understanding their needs, and that would help us work better at SUS.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all of our student representative at-large candidates who were able to make it today. Before we end things off, I would just like to remind everyone that there was another candidate for Vice President External, Liam Piper, as well as that there were other candidates for the student representative at-large position, Balkaran Singh Gill, Michaela Jacob, Prabcharan Singh Mahal, and Josefa Milwala. You can check out all of their candidate statements online at ufvsus.ca/elections. And with that, our debate for 2025 is finished. Thank you to everyone who came out today, and a special thanks to everyone who worked really hard to make this event happen, and as well to our candidates for attending today's event. Our campaign period will continue till February 24th, with our voting period beginning on February 25th and continuing until February 27th. Please remember to keep an eye out in your student email inboxes for the link to the voting during that time. Thank you, everyone.